Jaya Radha Madhava Jai Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jai Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Viravanachari Yamuna Viravanachari Yamuna Viravanachari Radha Madhava Jai Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jai Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jai Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Radha Gopinatha Radha Gopinatha Radhe Jai Jagannath Jai Jagannath Jai Baladevanand Jai Subhadra Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Hare Krishna, welcome all the devotees for today's satsang. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jaya Udarayate Nashtaprayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavadineshige Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devigi Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpade Govisa Kanta Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Kanjana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sudadevi Pranamami Hariprihe Panchakalpada Rupasya Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shadvaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hai. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome all devotees for taking your valuable time to come and attend the morning satsang. I'm extremely grateful to all of you for joining very enthusiastically in the morning hours. So we'll continue with this Ramayana narration. Before that, we'll invoke this Valmiki Stuti. Ujantam Rama Ramedi Maduram Madurakshaham Aditya Kavida Sagam Mante Valmiki Kogilam Valmiki Muni Samyasya Kavida Vacharini Shinman Ramagada Nadam Konayadi Paramgari. Last time we discussed about how this Ayodhya, the kingdom of Dasaratha, was having all this protection, how the ministers were guiding him, how the two of his gurus, Vasishtha and Vamanadev, was guiding him. All this he saw now. And actually, even though the Dasaratha was having all kind of opulences which nobody can think, he was an emperor actually. He was able to conquer many people. He able to, and also he have a very loving citizen. Last time we saw, no, everybody in Ayodhya loved Dasaratha Maharaj. That was a condition, and he was have not only that, and he was having he was wedded with 3 principal queens and 350 other wives. Totally he had 353 wives. Even then he had one problem, because that is the nature of this material world. Everything he had, but he has got but when he was not blessed with a son. That was his, you actually, Prabhu also writes there, they were hankering for son to hand over the legacy. That is what they should be ruled by the king very nicely, so that they were actually worried about the subject. That's why they want a son to, so that he can hand over the legacy and go to the, is for a spiritual mission he can go. So actually you also can see why you had Kausalya, Sumitra and Kaikeyi were the 3 principal queens, and why Dasaratha Maharaj married 350 other wives. There is a story behind that. Actually, Parasuram has taken a vow to kill all these Kshatriyas. So whenever he comes to Ayodhya, Dasaratha Maharaj is always engaged in some bidding. So that, actually, it was stated in these 2 occasions, Parasuram will not kill Kshatriya. If he is in the if the Kshatriya is getting married or is surrounded by naked women, these are the 2 times he will spare this the king being killed. So the Dasaratha Maharaj, whenever he come to know that Parasuram is going to come, he will be engaged in the marriage ceremony. That's why he landed up in having 353 wives. But he was not having a son. That was his worry actually. So he called his ministers as well as the 2 priests and all the great sages, and he consulted them. So I want a son now, because I am becoming old now. I should have a son now. Can you advise me what to do? So he also told, I had an idea of conducting the Aswamedha Yajna. What do you say? So that he put up the idea. See, the difference between the saintly king and the normal politician of the world is even though he's got idea, you want endorsement from his council of ministers as well as the priest. He was consulting everybody before taking a decision. Then at that time, I told you last time, Sumatra was the chief minister. At that time, he narrates one of the story to Dasaratha Maharaj. Dasaratha Maharaj said, I heard a long time ago, I heard from great sages Sanat Kumar that if you conduct a yajna, by calling Rishya Singha, your yajna will be complete and you will be able to get a son. You will be able to get an illustrious son. So here the question comes up the question comes is, even though the Sumatra was a chief minister, why particular incident Sanat Kumar blessed him with a son, if you call the Rishi Singha, was not told. So people may have the question why he did not reveal to him. So actually the Sumatra was playing a two role. One was a chief minister and he was a chariot driver also. And actually the good advisor is a person, unless somebody asks for advice, you should not voluntarily give the advice. So even though he knows the king was not having a son and all, unless he opened his mind and he has opened up his to the forum to give their idea, at that time he tells her, you will be definitely blessed with a son. That only thing we have to bring is the Rishi Singh. And the Rishi Singh also we understand who is the Rishi Singh. We'll just see. When Dasarath Maharaj had already one daughter named Santa from the Kausalya. Kausalya had one before Ram was born. They were all blessed with Santa. So Ramapad was a friend of our Dasarath Maharaj. He is a king of Anga. So he was asking Dasarath Maharaj, I don't have any issues. Can you give me your daughter? Like that, he directly asked. Dasarath Maharaj also was so much intimately connected to Ramapad, immediately obliged him. You take my daughter, let her be your daughter. So there is one Rishi Singha is the king who was born with a horn. Actually, he had a horn in his head. That's what's called Rishi Singha. So Rishi Singha was brought by his father, Vipantaka. Vipantaka was his father. Vipantaka wanted to bring the Rishi Singh as a ascetic. That means as a sage, as a great renunciant. That was his idea. So he took him in a forest area where he kept him in a big cottage. So where he was not allowed to go anywhere outside. He was not allowed to eat any delicious food. You cannot go out and see these. You can't go to the city. You can't go to the marketplace. You can't see the women. These are the restrictions. He was always kept in a confinement like that. He was educating him very nicely with all this spiritual knowledge. But and at the particular time, how that Ramapad kingdom Anga was affected by a drought. So there was no rain for many years. But when the sages consulted, when the Ramapad consulted sage, many saintly in his kingdom, they told, if a Rishi Singha happens to come to your land, Anga, moment his feet touches Anga, rain will come. So only problem is how to bring Rishi Singh. That was worry. So all this, the sages there, the ministers are consulted. They said we have to send somebody to allure Rishi Singh to come to Anga. So the society girls, they dressed them nicely like a saint and sent to his cottage. Whenever these Vipantaka will go out of, the father will go out of this Rishi Singha, they will dress like the saintly people and go and stay along with Rishi Singh, spend the time with them, and also they used to take a lot of sweets along with them. So they were giving sweet. Rishi Singh like the sweet. He thought there's a different type of fruits like that they used to take. And also before going, they used to embrace Rishi Singh very nicely, give them the very affectionate words, and they tell, I will come tomorrow like that. Every time they were going for over a period of time to Rishi Singha whenever father was out. Suddenly one day, what happened? Suddenly one day, they stopped going to Rishi Singh. They did not go to Rishi Singh ashram at all. So after a gap, again they went. At that time, Rishi Singh felt they were losing the company of them. They were very much felt, and I am missing them. So what he did, he said, you stay here like that. But they said when they stay there in the place, the problem if the father comes to know, he will come to know he's been trapped. So he said, no. What will do now? We have been coming every day to your place. Now why can't you come to our place? Like that these people have called them. So Risheshinga is innocent person. He said, you come there, you can associate with very saintly people like that. They induced him. So Risheshinga also agreed to go along with them when the father was away. So they arranged in such a way, they got a boat, the moving boat. The moving boat, the Risheshinga was shifted there. Slowly, they took them to the Angadesh. When the Risheshinga came out, saying that we are going to meet the saintly people, he kindly come out like that. When he came out of the boat, immediately his lotus feet touched Anga. There was a torrential rain, continuously rain. So it was stated here like a chataka bird. He is waiting for the first rain to come. Actually, the entire Anga land was parched. That was suddenly completely dry. So when Risheshinga landed there, Prabhupada welcomed him very nicely. Prabhupada welcomed him nicely, giving with the honor. Entire citizens came out of the all the their houses, welcomed them. He was taken very, very nicely. Big reception was given, and he was moved by the welcome and also the hospitality extended by Prabhupada. And Prabhupada requested Risheshinga, I want to offer as a gratitude, I want to offer my daughter to you in marriage. So actually, here it is stated here, even though Risheshinga was kept in his ashram very tightly by his father, protected, without wanted not to be extended to the external world. But the nature of the Risheshinga was, he wants a company of many people. And he accepted, there is no point in getting angry with Prabhupada. My nature is like that. Better I will serve the Lord in such a way, it is conducive to me, like he accepted. And his father also came, they asked forgiveness from this Vipandaka. Vipandaka was also happy. His son got married to a great king's daughter like that. He did all settle down. Now, our Sumatra is telling now, Dasarat, Risheshinga will come to you. Risheshinga is none other than your son-in-law, your daughter's husband. If you go and call him, he will definitely come. And when he comes, we'll consult him what else should be done. Accordingly, we'll perform. When Risheshinga came and he said, we want to do Putrakamashta Yajna. So he is telling, our Risheshinga is suggesting, before doing Putrakamashta Yajna, you have to do Aswamedha Yajna. Aswamedha Yajna you do. After 1 year period, if you do the Putrakamashta Yajna, you will get a son. They go according to the instructions of our Risheshinga. They send a horse to all the kings to accept the dominance of Dasaratha Maharaj. When anybody wants refute this one, they have to fight. But luckily, everybody accepted Dasaratha Maharaj's authority, and actually horse returned, and they did the Aswamedha Yajna. After completing Aswamedha Yajna, so they invited. Actually, it is stated here, before when the horse was sent, they also told them, we are going to perform the Aswamedha Yajna. They all can come. So here it is stated that all the Dasaratha Maharaj's close friends, like Janaka Maharaj, Midila, the king of Midila, Prabhupada, Anga, Keikei, the king of Keikeya, all people came. And actually, it was taken in such a way that Vasishtha Muni took care of all the guests. And also they were given the separate place to stay, the quarters for them. The food was arranged for them according to the taste what they wanted. And it is stated here, the women, children, old and ailing pair were given special food for consideration also. Individually, everybody was taken care of. And actually, if anybody is unsatisfied, Vasishtha stated as if his own family affair, Vasishtha ensured nobody should get dissatisfied. Everybody should satisfy. The person who is not able to eat also, they overeat. That is the condition which they were extending the hospitality. And one more condition is in the particular Aswamedha Yajna is, if Yajna is done not properly, if Yajna is done properly, you will get a lot of benediction, you will get a lot of blessing will get. At the same time, if Yajna is not conducted according to the standard, the Brahma Rakshasas who will be hovering over that place, they will create a disturbances, and then everything, whatever done, everything is spoiled. So it is ensured that Vasishtha kept always some referees to take care of. There is nobody no pronounces mandala properly. If anybody is a mistake, they will completely undo it again, conduct the yajna properly, like that. After Aswamedha yajna was completed properly, and then they said, we'll go for Putrakama Yajna. So here, what is stated here is glorifying the charitable disposition of Dasarath Maharaj. See, the Dasarath Maharaj, how he become such a charitable disposal, you understand. Dasarath Maharaj is coming in a parambara of Raghu dynasty. In the Raghu dynasty, it is stated here, there was one king called Raghu. Yes, once the king performed Visvachit Yajna. Visvachit Yajna means he gave away all charities. Everything, he become like, even though he was a king, he thought that it is better to give whatever I have, so that like that he completely gave everything. After giving everything, one scholar named Kosta, one person came as a very saintly person. He came to, I got some debt of 140 million gold coins. I have to give to somebody. Can you give me something? At that time, he is constructed his gurus, Brahmanas, and he said, since a particular scholar has come, I don't have anything. I have to definitely give nothing. I can't say no to him. So he said, I am going to sit and pray now to Kuvera to give me the gold by sunset. If he is not giving a gold by sunset, I am going to wage a war against Kuvera to fulfill the obligation of that particular Brahmana. When he was thinking like that, when he was sitting in meditation, that particular night, there was a shower of gold coins. Gold coins were completely, flooded his kingdom. What this king did is, whatever is required for giving to the Kostasa, he gave this 140 gold coins to him, 140 million gold coins to him. Remaining thing, he distributed to the Brahmanas. He did not use it at all. So this is one of the important aspects. He is glorifying. You are not ordinary person. You are called Raghunandana. You have been coming with such a legacy. That is why you are able to do like that. The Vasishtha Muni glorifies him. So we'll see. And also, we'll see particular here, some of the lessons we learned from here. We'll go slowly. I'm not rushing through actually. See, what is stated here. So, even though that Vasishtha, Dasarath Maharaj had everything in his life, he was able to conquer the kingdom, he was able to, a lot of wealth was there, he has got so many queens, all these were there. Since he had one problem, he doesn't have a son. So it is stated here, even though these are actually, you could have been much happier if he is contented. Since the nature of the material world is like that, even if you have everything, if there is one small thing, you magnify in such a way, without that I cannot live. So the position of Dasarath Maharaj was like that. But one thing with Dasarath Maharaj is, he did not do anything on his own. That very important is, when you have a good advisor, and also not only that, along with the good advice, you should also able to listen to them. Somebody is giving advice, you are in a position to take the advice and go according to that direction. Here, Dasarath Maharaj was such a humble king. Even though he had his problem is personal problem, he put up with his the ministers as well as his gurus to give a solution. I am having this idea like that. Can you have some better idea, or will we able to implement this idea? Like that is asked. Then, since all these citizens or the ministers has loved Dasarath Maharaj, they also acted in such a way for welfare of the Dasarath Maharaj. That's why very important is, even though Dasamaraj has a full control as a king. He could, I want to do, kindly do it. He did not order it. He consulted them. That's a very important factor here. So here one more thing is important. Even Dasarath Maharaj had a material problem. He doesn't have a son, is a material problem. But for giving a solution to the material problem, he went for spiritually. So here, very important thing. Many times we think, our material problems can be solved with materially. So that is the difference between the spiritualist and materialistic. Materialistic want to solve the problem materially, but spiritualists, even a material problem, they want to influence the higher power. They want to invoke the blessing. They want to consult the sages, and they want to give in charity. That very important disposition is, and His Holiness Radhan Maharaj also says, in giving we are receiving. Since Dasan Maharaj gave so much, a very important aspect is, he had only one daughter, Santa, at that time. At that time he was not having the other 4 sons. Even then, out of love for his friend Romapad, he handed over Santa in adoption. You understand this very important factor. If you do something good to people, the good will turn to you. What you do to others, what goes around will comes around. See, if you are doing good to you, do good to Romapad. Romapad is good in coming now back as a Rishi Singh, as his son-in-law, and who is here. Otherwise, Rishi Singh is such a saintly person, he will not come out of his Angadesh. Since Dasara Maharaj did some favor to the Romapad, Romapad also requested Rishi Singh kindly go to Dasara Maharaj and save his situation. So the very important is, if you do to good others, definitely you will good. Your good has to return with something more amazing. So in the very important thing we also consider, even though Sumantra knows about this Sanat Kumar's blessing, that if Rishi Singh is invited to perform Yajna will be completely successful. Sumantra did not open his mouth, did not reveal his heart to Dasara Maharaj until the time he told about this. He want to perform this Yajna, whether I can do it, who is a capable person for coming and doing it. At that time, he revealed the secret. If Rishi Singh comes and do this Yajna, you will be able to successful, you will be able to get his children. Like that is Sumatra gives. So that is very important. Is he acted as a two role. One as a minister, another as a chariot driver. He did not mix his duty. Whenever he was driving the chariot, he did not act as a minister. Whenever acted as a minister, he did not behave like a chariot. His role was totally defined. So Rishi Singha, here the Subalas tells us the Ramayana story, the analogy of Rishi Singh. Rishi Singha is like a mind of a living entity. And women who were disguised as the ascetic or desirable objects. So here he gives an example. If even though the Rishi Singha was a saintly person, his father doesn't want to enjoy the material abundance, since he was always constant touch with the material object. So these the society girls were always coming and mixing with him. His mind changed. That is why very important is, whenever we want to avoid something, we should not go near them. For example, somebody wants a gulab jam. If you goes to a sweet shop, you are always looking at gulab jam. You want to have that because he is very close to the object. Similarly, he also gives an example. Since all these the society girls are surrounded with him very frequently, his mind changed. That is why even if you are very, very, very advanced in your spiritual practices, if your material sense object will come and touch with you, which are not supposed to be direct, actually work on it. Prabhu also says the fire and the butter. Even if you keep very close by, over a period of time it melts. Similarly, the material object we should be careful. Now he is saying, nature of the material mind is interpreted world is temptation as good. So actually, Rishi Singh also thought these society girls are good. But the mind will be accepting something which is easy actually. Temptation is easy. You have to fall to prey to temptation easy. Now, the father represents intelligence. The father is his father represent intelligent. He was always keeping. But one more thing, what we have to understand is, even though his father was, even though the father wants to make him as ascetic or as a truly saintly person, his nature was different. So that's why Subhalasbu says here, as a parent, we are not supposed to force on the children what they should do. We should allow them to decide and help them and encourage them to go in the way. Here, after this, the Rishi Singh got married with Santa. His father blessed him. Vibhandaka blessed him, become the Grasta. And there also, you see, Rishi Singh did not lose his power at all. Rishi Singh was a saintly, even when he was kept in the father's custody, he was become more powerful after getting married, because he was situated in a ashram which was favorable to him, and he was bestowed with so much of the blessing by his father, and the father, and also the whatever austerity is followed. That gave all this boon for him. See, that very important is very important. Even though the father was acting intelligently, he was protecting his Rishi Singh. Since the intelligent was not consulted, his father was not consulted before taking decision, he fell prey. That's why whenever we are in loneliness, whenever we are secluded, whenever we are not in association of devotee, you will be forced to act according to your mind. Intelligent, you don't give importance to intelligent. Main problem is, whenever you come across a very, very unfavorable situation, you are supposed to invoke your intelligence, which is discriminate, which is good or bad. If you are only fall prey to the mind, you will be tempted and you will fall from your goal. See, very important is, when one's intelligence is not strong enough to resist temptation, one should seek the company of one with a stronger intelligence. Rishi Singh was not having stronger intelligence like his father. So what he did is, he was carried away by this temptation, and he could not distinguish which is good, and he did not reveal to the father also these people are coming like that. He fell prey to the temptation. This I told you already. According to our nature, we have to subhav. What nature subhava is? Everybody has got some inbuilt subhava given by God, that you can't change it actually. Better to go according to your subhava and do your material activity and spiritual activity, so that your mind will be peaceful. So now we'll talk about some aspect of this Putrakama Shegya, and we'll stop now. Actually, Putrakama Shegya done in such a way, it was in a form of a eagle prepared. That the Yajna was designed in such a way to look like a Garuda formation. So why the Garuda formation was particularly adopted is, when this the nectar was, the celestial nectar was churned, they actually, Garuda only brought the celestial nectar. So that's why they formed in a Garuda eagle instrument, they formed actually. So here also, very important thing, the particular Dasara Maharaj Yajna for Putrakama Shegya as well as the Aswamedha Yajna was performed by Vasishta. Vasishta was is a family guru. But actually, the connection between Vasishta and Dasara Maharaj stated actually, even though he was actually paid, Vasishta was paid by Dasara Maharaj financially, but he did not consider I am his employee. The love and affection bondage between the king and the what is a spiritual master is such a, this one is such a, what is called tightly bond. So he is considered the Maharaj as a family member. he used to always think about what is a good, something good I can do for my king. Similarly, the king also is stated here. King also did not consider difference between his family people and the citizens. He is always worried about what is the welfare I can do to the citizen. That was the consciousness of the king. That is, and also the consciousness of the subject. That's why last time we discussed. So two important points. One is there was no beggar in Ayodhya, and also stated nobody was having any anxiety. Why you see in the middle world now, because of people are not having sufficiently employed. They don't have resources to manage themselves. That's why that stealing and so many there's no crimes are taking place. There, nobody was dishonest, and nobody was able to give donation. Also, everybody is self-satisfied, and also, and it is stated here, Dasara Maharaj is what is called treasury was kept open. Anybody wanted anytime they come and take whatever they wanted. That was the liberty, and they in which that's why people wanted they want to follow this Ram Raj as well as Dasara Maharaj the method, because that was the ideal things. And not only these are lived in India. Actually, this is not that some people like somewhere in America, European countries there. We can see in front of us and how the people are there, because they were all culturally trained. Culturally, because when a leader is behaved like a saintly person, naturally the followers also will follow, become saintly. Whatever the great people do, common people naturally will do it. They will try to imitate them. That was the position of Dasarath kingdom. So we understand Dasarath Maharaj had, we have seen, he had all the opulence, everything. But one thing which was pricking him, that also we sought not, it is not for his own use. That's he want to hand over his legacy to him, his property to him. It is not like that. He was thinking how the citizen will not be having a what is called a saintly king. One day you understand, when a person is not having your king who is a saintly, then rogues will take over. That very important aspect is when a saintly when the rogues take over, what happens first? What happens? There all these dharma will be vanished. They will not follow any rules and regulation. There will be no yajna will be conducted. They will not listen to the Brahmin. Immediately, once offshot of that one, if you are not following according to the Vedic thing, naturally you will deviate. When the natural deviation comes, all inaspirations, all sinful tendency to commit, everything will come, and then everything will be ruined. That's very important. As important thing is, a person, a kingdom should be ruled by a saintly person. That was the only object on which Dasarath Maharaj was focusing, and he also, and we also start from this particular story how Dasarath Maharaj, how he gave importance to this, consulting the ministers and the saintly people before decision, before taking decision. And we also saw one more thing is, if you do good to people, automatically good will come to you. We do not have to think about that all. Even this Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, if you do good to people, naturally good will come to you. What is going around will come around you. In other way, if you try to harm any person, that the harm will come back to you in multiple times. That's why His Holiness Radha Maharaj say, he never in our dream also think of doing any injustice to us. Even if somebody does some injustice to us, we have to tolerate it, thinking that this is the previous karma I did, my karma is removed. If you understand in this aspect, your mind will become peaceful. Otherwise, general tendency is to take a revenge and do some harm to others. So it not only one story, many stories are there. Our own example we can see. You watch and do some good activity. Just keep in mind for a period of week time, whatever you do, good activity, and you will find some good result coming to you within a week time. Similarly, if you do any bad activity, suppose you want to cheat somebody, just wait and watch for a week time. some bad news will come to you. This is my own experience actually, because actually when when I was young, so I used to go along with my brother for marketing. So small time marketing, will take some 100 rupees, will give that shopkeeper will give to you more than 100 rupees. He will take the material from him also. He will also give more than 100 rupees. We are thinking, no, that flow is cheated, like they used to come. After some time, our money will be somewhere, we lose our own money. That is what is called, it is not that somebody is picketed from you. Instead of putting in a packet, you will put outside the packet. Something we are experienced and we related. We see many times what happened. The human mind is such a way, we don't relate what is happening in our life. We just thinking it is happening on its own. Everything has got a karmic effect. Similarly, if you do some good thing others, small, you are just feeding a cow, you are giving it to somebody who is a deserving person. If you do something, you will get a wonderful news, or somebody will give it to you, somebody will help you, or somebody will help your family members. It has come very this one, and you can watch over your activity. You do good activity for a week's time and watch over. Just do otherwise, do not do bad activity. If somebody does bad activity, you just what is the news is going to get after week's time. Now, because of human mind, we take everything casually. We don't have any. We don't analyze what is happening in your life. So it becomes very difficult to understand the law of karma. Otherwise, law of karma we can study in our life itself. Based on that, we can perfect, because some karma takes time to purify. Some karma comes immediately. But in Kali Yuga, it is stated 60% of the karmic result will come in during lifetime. Only 40% is going to next life. If you do a proper analysis of your action, and we can understand, it is better to always do good. It is why it is better to always do good. If you do good, the blessing will come, and you will become peaceful. You got a satisfaction of doing something good. What is good? It's actually, if you strictly speaking, nothing belongs to us. Everything that Krishna has given something, some kind of a opulence, some kind of facility in our care. If we extend that facility which Krishna has given to you, first of all, you are making Krishna satisfied by this process, because you are a custodian of this one. What is holding you is not. You become humble. You are giving somebody else. You have done your job as a caretaker. Plus, you will have an inner satisfaction. But I try to help somebody, and to what is called that is actually the other person who is there. He is also maybe an animal, maybe a bird, maybe a human being. That's also a part of Krishna. You understand? Also, Krishna is like a whole. Everybody is a part. One part is helping another part, like that. So when you are satisfied, and also another thing is, by this process, you are pleasing Krishna. What is the definition of pleasing Krishna? Definition of pleasing Krishna is you do whatever you have within your means to use it in service of Krishna. See, everybody is a children of Krishna. If you are doing something, you are benefiting somebody, means what happened? You are indirectly helping Krishna's this one. Instead of for every time Krishna will not come personally to do it. It has been conveyed through somebody, through the universal system is arranged in such a way, one person will help another person. But how we are getting a knowledge from spiritual master? Spiritual master as a representative of Krishna. Krishna cannot come and give the spiritual knowledge to us because we are not pure. That is why the spiritual master is a via media through which we are getting the knowledge. That knowledge we get if we share with others. This is also charity. It is not that you have to give charity only in kind of material things. Charity can be in the spiritual things also. Whatever we are sharing, discussing about Ramayana in the early morning, it is also actually the blessing of our Guru Maharaj, his Srila Prabhupada, previous paramparas. That's why we are able to, at least we got intelligent to come in the morning, listen to this kind of narration like Ramayana. Otherwise, we'll be wasting our time looking after TV, watching what is the news, our wild time. That's why if you spend the morning hours in discussing some glorification of Krishna, it becomes our heart will be satisfied throughout the day. our date will be blessed by able to our intelligence will drive us to do good things. Otherwise, we'll be doing always a muted thing. Some portion of the time which we have to do it for spiritual practices, that will help to uplift our consciousness. Slowly, we'll be able to get a Krishna praise. Thank you very much, Prabhu. I'll stop here. Ramadaya Guru. So I should thank you and Raghunath Guru, all your devotees who are enthusiastically hearing, because what happened now, I am getting all the energy because of you. You are listening so enthusiastically right in the morning, leaving all your work up. So I thought something I can share, which I read from Subula's book actually. Thank you very much, Guruji.
Hare Krishna. Dhanush from Prabhuji. Very nicely explained, Prabhuji, about Vishishinga and all.
Yeah. Thank you. I will continue with this book. This I'm reading because of translation. So it is for me also is getting purified, no, by listening to Ramayana. Otherwise, where we have no chance to speak only, no. And Prabhupada also says, if you try to speak, no, at least some portion will remember. If you just read and close it, no, if we don't recollect in the mind, no.